Minerals and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe is meeting traditional leaders to try and get resistant communities on board with mineral exploration in the Eastern Cape. Sipha Kema has been attending the event and she joins us now for a debrief. So what message has the minister given to that community? Is it enough to persuade them?
Well, of course, this is not the first engagement that the minister has had with traditional leaders. He started in the former Transkei, engaging the leaders that side, which really specifically deals with mostly, the Wild Coast. As we know that this has been an issue. It's not a new issue that has to do with the Wild Coast and a company like Shell, but rather it goes far back, even the times with Ekolobeni, where there were issues coming from that community regarding, mineral resources, and also the department trying to sell those mineral resources. So then I think now the department is trying to actually engage the Ikumgani, the kings, as well as Inkosi, which is the princes and traditional leaders within the different communities, so that they are able to actually speak to and engage to some of the villages. Now, he says the main issue that they've seen is actually that coming back to the department, they've received information that most of the communities don't know much about what is going to happen or the potential opportunities that could befall these communities in terms of employment, as well as, the small money that they could be getting as well from these deals. So he says that right now the department is focusing on engaging traditional leaders, but also educating them themselves on the the processes of seismic, on how it exactly works. He also mentioned, as you know, NGOs and activists, environmental activists, have been saying that, and have actually been fighting the department, such as the case of Shell, saying that this should not happen in these areas because it has issues when it comes to the environment, especially the marine world within the Wild Coast. So then he says that this is the issue that the department and government is dealing with, is NGOs approaching these communities and not giving them the full story. Now, it seems as though, this is the minister's last resort. I mean, it's not just Wild Coast, Kolobeni, that are the only communities that are rather showing resistance or flatly refusing for the department to sell off the mineral and energy rights of that land, but rather across the country, as well as, we've seen as well in parts of KZN as well. That has also been an issue. So he says that they are on a path right now to speak to these traditional healers and also to Ikumkani. As we saw today, they were giving them a presentation on the opportunities and the potentials that would come with developing. Now, he says that when he measured South Africa and the rest of the world and other African countries, he felt as though South Africa was far behind, and this is why now they felt it was time to ramp up these proceedings and to ensure that South Africa is part of these investments. He went on to say, of course, that companies like Shell have now taken their businesses to neighboring countries such as Namibia. After Shell fell a couple of times at the High Court, Grahamstown High Court, against the environmental activists and some of these communities, they then took their business to neighboring countries. But at the same time, you would understand that besides, not being educated enough of the processes when it comes to the communities are worried about what could actually happen within these peaceful and serene villages, when it comes to especially the Wild Coast, the marine life, that they live off tourism, most of the communities along that coastal line. So then what happens when all of that is disturbed? Where then, after all is said and done, when it comes to the mining of minerals as well as natural gas ends, where does this then leave these communities to find ways of getting money and income within the smaller communities?
Sipha Kema, thank you very much for that update.